Kroger Tender Ray Beef, no other beef so fresh can be so tender, presents Hearts in Harmony, transcribed. The day after tomorrow is Christmas Day. Now, if you're not ready for your holiday feast, then don't waste a minute in visiting your Kroger store. There you'll find a grand selection of fine poultry. They're the best birds in town. Big, plump, tender, juicy birds with real fresh from the country flavor. Chickens and ducks and turkeys and geese. Beautiful birds, specially chosen by Kroger meat experts for all the good things you want in poultry. Take, for instance, the extra special double good 4-point blue ribbon turkeys. These famous turkeys are just bursting with plump, tender, juicy, delicious meat. Now, these are what we call double good birds because, first, they're raised in the best turkey-growing areas by experienced turkey farmers. Next, they're scientifically fed to make them plump and tender. Then they're expertly dressed, every last little pin feather deftly removed. And finally, the ones that reach your Kroger store are specially selected for particular Kroger customers like you. Now, isn't that reason enough you should get your 4-point blue ribbon turkey now? And remember, your Kroger store is the only place in town that has them. And now, Hearts in Harmony. Penny Gibbs is not going to get her job as laboratory assistant to Professor Stuart Rogers. For some yet unexplained reason, the Rossville University Finance Board has rejected her. And while the professor is trying to find out more about it, Penny tells Nora Williams the bad news.
I'm afraid things aren't quite as rosy as they were last week, Nora. I'll have to look for a job again.
Oh, crickets, no, Miss Gibbs. You have that just super job with the handsome Professor Rogers, haven't you?
I had it, Nora.
And you've lost it already?
Yes, dear, even before I started it.
Oh, Miss Gibbs, that's terrible.
Oh, I don't know, it's not so bad. It wasn't really the right kind of job for me anyhow. I wouldn't have been very good at it, and I'd have always felt that the professor was keeping me on just out of friendship. No, maybe it's a good thing the job was taken away from me.
It was taken away from you? Who got it in your place?
Well, no one has yet. It was the University Finance Board that refused to let me have the job.
But why? Why would they do that?
I don't know, Nora. Professor Rogers is seeing the board again today to ask them why. I told him it didn't matter, but he insists on finding out.
Oh, golly, maybe when the professor talks to the board, he'll talk them into letting you have the job.
I don't think there's much chance of that, Nora. I really mean it. I'm not too unhappy about not having the job.
I hope you're not too disappointed, Miss Gibbs.
You are, though, aren't you?
Well, yes, I am, in a way, if you don't mind.
Why should I mind? But I don't understand why you're disappointed.
Oh, crickets, Miss Gibbs, the professor sounds so wonderful. I should think it'd be just super working for him.
Yes, he's a fine man and a good friend, Nora. And I imagine it would be rather pleasant working for him, but I can't let myself get upset about it. What I have to do now is to forget about Professor Rogers and go out and find myself a job.
Oh, golly, Miss Gibbs, am I the reason you need a job so badly?
No, Nora, how could you be the reason?
Well, I work here and you have to pay me. And if I didn't work here, you wouldn't have to pay me, and then you wouldn't need a job. Or doesn't that make sense?
Oh, yes, it does. But it makes sense when you look at it the other way, too. Thanks to you, the baby and the house are in good hands. And I have the opportunity to go out and have a job.
But if I weren't here, you wouldn't need a job.
But I do need one regardless. Nora, I've been wanting to go to work for weeks, but when Pat left the baby with me, it didn't seem as though I could. Until my brother insisted that I hire you.
Oh, golly, Miss Gibbs. Now, you're not keeping me here because you're forced to, are you?
No, Nora. No, you're making everything perfect. When things are all straightened out again and I have a job and things are running smoothly, I'll owe you a lot of thanks.
But if you don't have a job,
I
Miss
will
Gibbs...
have a job, Nora, one of these days. And maybe you will have to work for a few dollars less for a week or two if I don't get a job pretty soon.
Oh, golly, honest?
Yes, golly, honest. Oh, Nora, please don't worry about your job again. We'll always manage somehow.
Oh, crickets, Miss Gibbs. It's just super knowing someone like you. Every time I'm worried about bad news, you make everything all right again.
Have you had bad news, Nora?
Well, yes, but it's a lot worse for Daddy. He telephoned me from the mill this morning. He's lost his job.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. It's only a temporary thing, isn't it?
No, he said he wasn't going to work there ever again. Oh, it's not nice to say, I guess, but I know why they let him go. Daddy's not a very good worker. He just doesn't seem to care.
Nora, I'm sure he'll find another job and be working again.
Yes, for a little while. Then he'll lose that job, too. Oh, I was hoping he'd have a job at Christmas. Then I could spend my money on a super Christmas present for him. Now I guess I'd better just give him the money.
No, you buy him a small present, Nora. The few dollars won't be missed, but the present will.
Yes, I guess so. Oh, I hope he doesn't buy me anything, though. Not what he said he was going to, anyhow. Costs way too much money, and I know Daddy will be so sad about losing this job that it'll be a long time before he even looks for another one. And oh, crickets, Miss Gibbs, I shouldn't be telling you all this. I'm sorry.
It's all right, Nora. You'll want to be on the farm with your father on Christmas, won't you?
Oh, golly, could I be? I was afraid to ask.
Well, I took it for granted that you'd want to be with your father on Christmas.
But the baby, Miss Gibbs...
The baby will be well taken care of, Nora. Mother's staying over Christmas.
Oh, golly, will Daddy be surprised? I told him I thought I'd have to work.
Well, you plan on leaving Christmas Eve if you like. That's tomorrow night.
Oh, I can? Oh, crickets, Miss Gibbs, you're just super. I was so sad about not being with Daddy on Christmas. Now Christmas is going to be just scrumptious. Oh, golly, you fixed just everything.
Nora, you'll have me thinking I did something for you.
You did?
Say, I don't know why I didn't think of this before.
What?
Would you like to bring your father here for Christmas dinner?
Oh, he wouldn't come.
Well, how do you know until you ask him?
I wouldn't even ask him. He'd be very angry.
Angry?
Yes, awfully angry, Miss Gibbs. I don't know how to explain it, but... Oh, Daddy's just super, and I love him very much, but... Oh, he's such a problem sometimes.
Oh, I see. Well, if you do ask him, and if he does want to come, you let me know, won't you?
No, Miss Gibbs, I won't ask him. So don't bother about us for Christmas. And please don't think Daddy and I won't have a just super Christmas. Ever since I can remember, Christmas with Daddy has always been fun.
I'm sure it has, Nora. And I know it'll be fun this year, too.
Mm-hmm.
I know that...
Oh, there's the door, Miss Gibbs.
No, never mind, Nora. I'll get it.
Oh, all right. I think I'd better get started on my house.
All right.
Getting awfully late in the morning.
Oh, don't bother with the sunroom yet, Nora. I want to attend to a few things there myself.
All right, Miss Gibbs.
Oh.
Good morning, Miss Gibbs.
Hello, Professor Rogers. Come in.
I'm still welcome.
Why not? Come on, don't stand out there in the cold.
Oh, sorry. An open door isn't exactly a good way to heat a house, is it?
No, not very. You act as though you have some news about the job.
Well, yes, I have, Miss Gibbs, and it's not good.
I didn't expect it to be.
Frankly, neither did I.
Well, come on in and sit down and tell me about it, unless you'd rather not.
Oh, well, there's nothing much to tell. I spoke to the finance board this morning, as I said I would, but I couldn't get much out of them.
Not even a reason?
Well, not a satisfactory reason. You see, it wasn't really the board which refused you the job.
It wasn't?
No.
Well, I thought...
The board was just following orders, Miss Gibbs. The donor of the funds for the laboratory didn't want a woman in the job.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
Yes. A rather feeble reason for refusing someone the job, isn't it?
Well, being a woman, I'm prejudiced.
Well, I think the excuse is senseless. In fact, I don't believe it.
Oh, it's probably true enough, Professor. Frankly, I think it's rather good news. It means I wasn't thrown out of a job for personal reasons.
Oh, well, yes, there's a lot to that aspect of the case, Miss Gibbs, but I'm still upset about it. After all, I did offer you a job and then take it away from you.
You didn't do anything of the kind. Professor Rogers, I'll always be grateful to you for offering the job in the first place. I certainly don't blame you because I lost it. Did the finance board tell you who donated the money for the laboratory?
Oh, I didn't ask.
I wish you had. I'd kind of like to know who doesn't believe in women going to work.
Oh, it's probably some man with a domineering wife who wants to get even by taking it out on the rest of the women in the world.
Or maybe some old...
Miss Gibbs, forgive me for changing the subject, but... Well, The job in my laboratory isn't really important now. What we ought to worry about is finding you another job.
Well, finding one isn't going to be as easy as losing the one I almost had with you.
Well, it may not be too bad, Miss Gibbs. If you, well, if you don't mind, I have a few contacts
Thank you,
in town.
Professor. I've imposed on you long enough. Oh, now what? Nora, will you answer the door, please?
Oh, yes, Miss Gibbs, right away.
Thank you. As I was saying, Professor, I've imposed on you long enough. You have the new laboratory to worry about. I'll manage to find myself a good job on my own this time.
Well, if you want it that way, Miss Gibbs, but if you want, I can
No,
speak to...
thank you. Let's leave friendship out of this.
Excuse me, Miss Gibbs.
Oh, yes, Nora.
Miss Dodge is here to see you.
Well, Miss Dodge, come in.
Thank you. I hope I'm not calling at the wrong time of the morning,
Oh,
Miss
no,
Gibbs.
not at all. Nora. Well, I wonder what happened to Nora.
Well, I don't know, but she took one look at me and scooted right out of the room.
You have her well trained, Miss Gibbs.
I don't think it was quite that, Miss Dodge. Nora isn't a servant here. I do think the professor's the reason she ran out of the room, though. I'm sorry, Professor, but you and Nora haven't met, have you?
Oh, only over the phone.
Oh, how rude of me.
Oh, now, Miss Gibbs, don't be so coy. You know the danger of a schoolgirl crush on a college professor? You certainly don't want to risk losing...
Now, wait a minute, please. Leave me out of this.
Professor Rogers, you're blushing.
I am?
Yeah.
You certainly are, Professor. You'll have to get over that, too, with the pretty Miss Gibbs working so close to you in the laboratory.
I'm not going to work in the laboratory, Miss Dodge.
Oh, you aren't?
No.
Oh, what a shame. And I brought you this manual of chemistry, thinking maybe it would be of some help to you.
Well, that's very thoughtful of you, but really...
It's fine, Miss Dodge, but if Miss Gibbs needed books, I'm sure she could find all she wanted at the university.
But this I thought she might study at home. It tells all about the signs and how to record weight.
It was very thoughtful, Miss Dodge, but I won't need it now.
Oh, I'm so surprised. What made you give up the job? It seemed like such an ideal thing for both of you.
The donor doesn't like women to work.
Oh. Oh, then I can't have the job either, can I? Oh, well, what would I do with a job if I had one? I don't have to work. Oh, Miss Gibbs, what a shame. You do have to work, don't you? You need a job very badly.
Madeline Dodge just can't resist enjoying Penny's troubles, can she? Did she really come to help Penny with her job, or did she have another motive? And is she really sorry Penny lost her job? And who really refused to let Penny work for the professor? Be sure to listen to the next dramatic episode of Hearts in Harmony. Friends, with Christmas Day just around the corner, it's high time you made your choice from the grand selection of Kroger's poultry. Remember, Kroger offers you the best birds in town. They're naturally better, plumper, more tender, juicier, and full of that real country fresh flavor. For instance, those 4-point blue ribbon turkeys, the real aristocrats of the poultry kingdom. Now, these great turkeys are better for 4 reasons. First, they're raised in the best turkey-raising areas by master turkey growers. Next, they're scientifically fed to make them plump and tender. And then they're expertly dressed, the way you yourself would dress a prize bird. And finally, the ones that are chosen for your Kroger store are specially selected to please you. Yes, you'll say you've never cooked a bird as good as a 4-point blue ribbon turkey. Get one at your Kroger store now. Now, your local announcer.